Wow, just plain wow. Where have I been hiding? Under what rock? Located where? Have I been calling home for the last 2 years? I really did not start out my day rolling out to get stuff done while most of you are rolling over, planning to cover this Christmas controversy news. Not having a smartphone. Come to think of it, my antique flip phone hasn't been active since my days at the Charlie Foxtrot job that I had. I don't know how recommended videos on YouTube work for smartphones. For me and my laptop, a whole list shows up on the right side of my screen. And this morning, as I'm checking my YouTube feed, on the right side of my screen, a 5-minute Tucker Carlson video shows up from 3 days ago, titled Christmas Karens. Well, hell, I'll bite. I've got 5 minutes, even though I have a lot of stuff to do today. So I checked it out. What are the Christmas Karens bitching about now? I think the Steve Miller Band had a clue over 40 years ago with this one verse from Jungle Love. Everything is better when wet. Well, we're going to get wet, people, and I'm just getting started on Thursday, the 29th of December, 2022, or so they'd like us to believe. Now, keep in mind, I had no intention to go here this morning. I can justify going here because it is one more avenue of attack against us. Asymmetrical warfare, don't you know? So, from Tucker Carlson, I'm just going to brief little soundbite here to get this thing rolling. Here we go. Take it away, Tucker.
Fake outrage over the Christmas song Baby It's Cold Outside. You were supposed to be very mad about that song. Part of a broader effort to destroy everything you grew up with that was good, your history, your culture, but they told us the time was me too. Well, comedian Tom Cotter remembers that very well, and he noted that that song generated a lot more outrage among lifestyle liberals than a pop song about women's genitals. So Tom Cotter's bit on this is all over the internet. You may have seen it. If you haven't, here's part of it.
And the one that really killed me was last Christmas we canceled a song that was written in the 1940s called Baby It's Cold Outside, which is fine if you feel that way, but at the exact same time, the #1 song in this nation for over 2 months was Wet I'm not making that up. You can look it up. Google it. So I want to wrap up my show by comparing and contrasting the lyrics of these 2 songs. If indeed this country has lost its mind, shall we? Let's start with the horribly offensive Christmas song written just after World War II. I really can't stay, baby, it's cold outside. I gotta go away, baby, it's cold outside. This evening has been so very nice. Yeah, you with some wet. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet. Beat it up, Edward. Extra large, extra hard. Put this.
Yeah, well, guess what? I'm not Fox News. So, of course, I wanted to hear the censored words. But where do I go for that? Why, YouTube, of course. The song, if you can call it that, and the lyrics. I'll link it below so you too can enjoy it. It starts out, and I've got the volume off on this, of course, with 5 repetitive verses. Whores in the house. So, let's get to the next verse here. I've got it muted. I said certified freak 7 days a week. Wet ass pussy make that pullout game weak. Woo ah. Gotta play a little bit more and stop it. Come on, give me the next verse here. Okay, alright, here we go. Yeah. You fucking with some wet ass pussy. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass pussy. Give me everything you got for this wet ass pussy. Do I need to go on, people? I could. Or you could look at the link. Now, in fairness, do I need to contrast wet ass pussy song with Baby It's Cold Outside? I don't think so. I don't think I need to read the words from a song written in America after World War II, and any way, shape, or form will it compare to the filth that circulates today as music. Tell me again, God bless the USA. Now, 40 plus years ago, Motown Records, a record label catering to black musicians, put out a lot of good music. I mean, come on, what was wrong with Smokey Robinson and the Miracles? But Dad, it's Smokey. He did a good remake of Tracks of My Tears from Linda Ronstadt. Now, what happened? When did it change? A better question, who changed it to what it is today? And they could tell you, but you could also ask Murray. Next time you see him whining and mooching drinks, he knows. People, we are never, ever, in no way, shape, or form going back to normal. Kiss it goodbye. And while you're still in a kissing mood, kiss this country. Yep, the good old US of A goodbye. It's over. It's done. It's just a carcass that's barely hanging on remaining. Now moving on. Years ago, back in the day, when the first Xerox copy machines were released. Can any of you remember that? I sure do. Couldn't wait to make counterfeit copies of our currency. There was a rumor or folklore concerning these machines that went something like this. Hey, did you know a Xerox copy of the original is better than the original? Well, of course, nothing is further from the truth. And a copy of a copy of a copy is even worse. Now, I know evolution is bullshit. A religion. Remember, not all priests wear their collars on backwards. Too many wear white lab coats. Now, where am I going with this? Well, what are we people? Are we not copies of a copy of a copy? And like the Xerox, the more you make a copy of a copy of a copy, the worse the copy gets. Take it all the way back to Adam and Eve if you like, but it's not necessary. Your great-great-great-grandparents were better specimens of mankind than we are. Don't argue with me, just accept it. It's devolution that is true, not evolution. And it's going to get to the point, around 2050, where the remaining mankind, if any remain by then, can't reproduce. The sperm count will go to 0. Just like given a long enough timeline, our chances of survival will go to 0 also. Don't doubt me on that. Terraforming Mama Earth. Not for the demonic entities, but as I mentioned yesterday, what about the chimeras and the human? Today I'll add what about the transgenders and the transhuman. Consider this. Genetically, our RNA and DNA are devolving. It's just a fact, scientific fact. But what if you inject someone with messenger Romeo November Alpha man-made stuff, DARPA, DOD? Yeah, what about that? Do you think this just might maybe a wee bit perhaps change the original equation? Do you think so? Well, I certainly do. Okay, people, let's wrap this podcast up with something different. Instead of starting the podcast with a brief look at the engineered weather, I'm going to end this podcast with a brief look at the engineered weather. Willow City's scripted 10-day forecast from the federal gag-ordered NOAA and National Weather Service. We read, now look at, I know, don't bitch, it could be worse. I'm looking at the temperature side of things. Yes, I'm not bitching. Way better than last week at this time. However, I'm looking at the cloudy conditions. And it's partly cloudy, mostly cloudy, cloudy. That's it, over and over and over again. I don't see the sun. The sun is AWOL. The sun is missing in action. Don't doubt me on this, people. Go to theweatherchannel.com. Or it says weather.com. It says, yeah, it is the Weather Channel. An IBM business. I did not know that. Boy, see, you learn something new every day. Terraforming. Get used to it. And by the way, it will get worse. I've got stuff to do.